Stimulus funding to watch monkeys on cocaine, $500,000 to replace windows on a closed visitor center. Those are among the 100 stimulus bill projects included in a report called Summertime Blues, released today by Republican Senators Tom Coburn and John McCain. Hi, I'm Chris Castile in the Washington Bureau of the Oklahoman. Coburn of Oklahoma and McCain of Arizona released their third report today on questionable projects funded by the 2009 stimulus bill, whose cost is now estimated at $862 billion. That bill had a number of different elements, and much of the money went to tax cuts and to prevent strapped state governments from laying off thousands of teachers and state and local workers. A big chunk also went to help people who had lost their jobs in the worst recession in decades. Coburn said today that the stimulus bill has had some positive effects, but that it still could have been better, the money could have been better spent to create more jobs.
We're going to have a stimulus bill. It ought to be truly about stimulating the economy. It ought to be creating real jobs. And it ought to be doing the thing that gives us the best bang for our buck. There is no question this stimulus bill has had a positive effect on the economy to a certain degree. And what our criticism is, it could have had a far greater effect. When the special IG for this admits that there's going to be $50 billion in fraud out of this bill, and that we highlight things that we think are stupid and inappropriate, it is normal that we're going to get criticism. This is not directed towards the president or the vice president, but towards the process that has gotten us $13.3 trillion in debt, and the continuing example of process that we see every day that creates inappropriateness and does not give us a benefit for the taxpayers' dollars.
Here are some examples of projects in the Senator's report. Almost $90,000 was spent for a sidewalk in the Muskogee County town of Boynton. The sidewalk, which leads to a ditch, had just been replaced 5 years earlier. And at the same time the sidewalk was being built, local school officials were struggling to find $9,300 to pay utility bills. Winter Haven, Florida got $2.4 million for 5 buses, even though the buses there only carry 2 to 3 riders per hour. A New York town called Rouse's Point got $833,000 to renovate a train station that already had $600,000 in work done on the platform. Less than 1,100 people got on or off Amtrak trains there last year, making it the second least busy station in New York. And more than $554,000 was spent to replace the windows on the visitor center at Mount St. Helens in Washington State, even though it was closed in 2007 and there are no plans to reopen it. Members of President Barack Obama's administration have been traveling around the country this summer touting the benefits of the stimulus bill. And Obama has been on the fundraising circuit recently, accusing Republicans of ruining the economy, but wanting to take the reins again. McCain and Coburn responded to questions today about who was to blame.
George Bush looks like a piker compared to what has taken place since President Obama has come into the presidency. Look, he can keep the BIOB, no matter what it is, blame it on Bush, he can keep that up. The American people are going to hold him accountable this November, not an administration that went out of power over a year and a half ago.
There's plenty of blame for everybody in Washington about where we find ourselves. The fact is what the American people have done is awakened to the incompetency of Washington. And what they'd like to see is a growing, vibrant economy based on a limited government, a true entrepreneurial free enterprise system, and a tax structure that creates opportunity and greatness and economic well-being for kids.